Begin with ankle to knee on chair or against the wall. It's important to keep your femur as straight as possible according to where your hip is for this exercise because that is how you will get maximal benefit and stretching. Beep! This is also a really good time to gently flex and stretch the knee joint. Not too hard, but mindfully stretching the knee joint. Next, supine internal rotation of hip with bent knee. Beep! Lie on your back, feet on the floor, knees fall to one side. Attempt to grab foot of top leg, optional ankle on top of knee. Beep! Next, unilateral side-lying bow pose. Beep! It helps to think of this stretch as backward sitting because you are moving your legs in the opposite way that they would be if you were sitting. Beep! We do this particular stretch sideways because it does not engage the lumbar spine. It's important to keep your lower back consciously strong during this exercise. Next, manual side-lying internal rotation of shoulder. Beep! Beep! Next, cobra, backwards bridge on ball, or bridge. Beep! In this exercise, a bridge should be your goal, so if you are a beginner, start with the cobra. Next, sit up with your legs out in a V in front of you for revolved head to knee pose for lateral flexion. Beep! Extend your arm on your medial thigh, calf, and ankle. Reach your other arm overhead as if holding a beach ball. Focus on stacking your shoulders and straightening the arms. Beep! One of the muscles that is our objective to stretch in this exercise is the quadratus lumborum, the QL. The QL is a lower back muscle. Next, sitting twist. Beep! It's important to keep your back as straight as possible and your shoulders as level as possible. There are a lot of variations of this exercise. Beep! Next, internal rotation of hip in hero pose. Beep! Opposite of first exercise, which stretched the external rotators, stretch for the internal rotators. Next, hip flexion and abduction in squat pose. Beep! After you're in a position where your feet are flat, try opening your adductors with your arms. Next, stand up. Supine against wall, beginning with no rotation, externally rotate, then raise. Beep! This is an exercise repeated really slowly, focusing on the shoulder blades and the shoulders. It's also important to straighten your arms as much as possible. Next, shoulder horizontal abduction on the wall. Beep! Deceptively common stretch. Begin with arm as much against the wall as possible while bent. Turn the torso away from the arm, keeping the arm against the wall. Work to straighten the arm. Beep! Experiment by finding the angle that gives you the most sensation. You should feel the sensation under your collarbone and into your arm. Next, clasp hands behind back and rise with straight arms. Can also be done on the floor. Beep! Sitting on the floor, hands facing behind you on the floor. Gently move body from hands, stretching front of shoulders. Next, touch hands behind back from opposite directions. Beep! It's important to always look for a tightness or stretching sensation when you're doing this exercise. If you can't feel the effects of the exercise, you need to increase the effort that you're pulling on your arms. Beep! If you can't touch your hands, you can still create a stretching sensation and work to eventually touch your hands. Next, get the foam roller. Foam roller assisted shoulder sagittal flexion. Beep! Next, get the band. Band assisted sagittal horizontal abduction plus supination. Elbows and wrists very strong and straight, rotating thumb backwards, slowly contracting. Repeat several times. Arms as parallel to the floor as possible. Band assisted, starting with scapula protraction, shoulder flexion, and abduction. In order to activate the right muscles, it's important that you push your shoulders out in front of you before you move your hands above your head. End sequence. Beep!